Jake Paul wasted no time in mocking Gervonta Davis after his surprising draw against Lamont Roach, taking to social media to ridicule the undefeated fighter's performance. Paul, known for stirring controversy and challenging established boxers, didn't he hold back in his criticism, calling Davis lucky to have avoided a real fight. This latest jab at Davis adds to the ongoing tension between the YouTuber-turned-boxer and the boxing elite, as Paul continues to push his own narrative in the sport. Davis's coach, Kenny Ellis, was quick to defend his fighter but admitted that the performance wasn't the best they had seen from Tank. While he insisted that Davis had done enough to win, he acknowledged that the fight was much closer than many had expected. "It was a good fight. Of course, it wasn't Tank's best performance, but I had him up 7-5. He didn't get the knockout, but I had him up. Roach had the better jab," Ellis stated. Even Davis's own camp recognized that their fighter had struggled, a rare admission from a team that is usually confident in their champion's dominance. The lack of a knockout and Roach's sharp jab made it clear that this was not the usual Gervonta Davis that fans had grown accustomed to seeing in the ring. The fight itself was a wake-up call for many who believed Davis was untouchable. His unbeatable aura took a significant hit, opening the door for critics to question whether he is still the same force he once was. The inability to put away Roach and the struggles he faced throughout the fight exposed certain vulnerabilities that had rarely been seen before. Some fans have started to wonder if Davis's best days are behind him, while others believe this was just a minor setback in an otherwise stellar career. On the other hand, Roach's performance was widely praised by boxing insiders, who were impressed by his ability to stand toe-to-toe with one of the sport's biggest names. Former pro fighter Lonnie B had nothing but good things to say about Roach, calling him the real deal and highlighting his resilience against Davis. Unlike many of Tank's past opponents, Roach didn't crumble under pressure. Instead, he held his ground and proved that he belongs among the top names in boxing. "I think it was an awesome fight. Lamont Roach is the real deal. He stood toe-to-toe with Tank. His skills are A1. He took some of Tank's best shots and came right back with his own. Roach is a fighter we need to push. He belongs in the conversation with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney," Lonnie B stated. This kind of recognition is significant for Roach, as it cements his place as a rising star in the sport. Before the fight, many had counted him out, but his performance changed the narrative completely. He was no longer just another opponent, he had proven himself as a legitimate contender. Respected trainer Bozy Ennis also weighed in on the fight, making it clear that this was never going to be an easy night for Davis despite what many expected. Ennis pointed out that Roach had come prepared and wasn't there to simply make up the numbers. His experience and toughness made this a much closer contest than the majority of fans and analysts had predicted. "It was a good fight, man. Roach came to fight. I tried to tell people this wasn't going to be an easy fight. They knew each other, which played a big role. They sparred together in the past, so Roach knew what to expect. He wasn't intimidated, he stood his ground," Ennis explained. This insight from Ennis sheds light on why Roach was able to perform so well. His prior experience with Davis gave him the confidence to execute his game plan without hesitation. Ennis also believed that Roach may have even edged out the fight, emphasizing just how competitive it was. Many had expected a one-sided beatdown in favor of Davis, but what transpired was a battle between two evenly matched fighters. Ennis analyzed Roach's performance, highlighting the strategic approach he brought to the ring. Roach started strong, using his jab effectively and pushing Davis back in the early rounds. While Tank is known for setting traps and luring opponents into making mistakes, Roach was one step ahead, countering every time Davis attempted to execute his usual strategies. "I wasn't surprised. Roach came out using his jab and backing Tank up, but Tank fights that way. He sets traps, but Roach was prepared. Every time Tank tried to set a trap, Roach countered right back, Ennis stated. Instead of falling into Davis's game plan, Roach stayed composed and adapted as the fight progressed. His ability to read Davis's movements and react accordingly made this fight much closer than anyone had expected. One of the more controversial moments in the fight came when Davis appeared to take a knee and run to the corner to have his eyes wiped. Normally, this would be considered a knockdown, but the referee did not enforce the rule, leading to accusations of favoritism. Ennis did not hold back in his criticism of this moment, pointing out that Davis seemed to receive special treatment. I didn't expect that from him. He took a knee and ran to the corner to get his eyes wiped. That's never allowed. The referee started counting, then stopped. That shows you right there that Tank has power, but any other fighter would have been counted out, Ennis said. Many believe this moment changed the course of the fight, giving Davis an advantage when he should have been in serious trouble. Roach fought cleanly and earned his moments, but the apparent leniency shown toward Davis has fueled frustration among fans and analysts alike. Some even believe that Davis should have been disqualified for sticking his head through the ropes to get his face wiped. According to certain interpretations of the rules, this could have warranted an automatic disqualification. Ennis acknowledged the controversy surrounding the incident and admitted that it was a questionable call by the officials. That's what people are saying. Him sticking his head through the ropes and getting his face wiped off should have been a disqualification. Is that a rule? That's what I heard, Ennis admitted. If Davis had been disqualified, the outcome of the fight would have been entirely different, potentially handing Roach the biggest win of his career. This has led to a heated debate about whether Davis receives preferential treatment in big fights, with many believing that boxing politics played a role in the final decision. Despite all the controversy, Ennis believes that a rematch could bring out a different version of Gervonta Davis. He suggested that Tank may not have been fully focused for this fight, possibly distracted or not in peak condition. While Davis still fought in his usual style, something seemed off about his performance. Ennis expects both fighters to return even stronger if they meet again in the ring. I think next time, Tank is going to be different. More focused. I don't know if he had something on his mind, but he fought like he normally does. Roach was ready, but next time, he's going to be even more prepared, Ennis predicted. Roach has already proven that he belongs at this level, and in a rematch, he could be an even greater threat. The first fight exposed weaknesses in Davis's game, and if they face off again, it could be an entirely different battle. Ennis also spoke about the mentality that fighters have when stepping into the ring against someone like Gervonta Davis. He explained that facing an elite opponent naturally pushes fighters to perform at their absolute best. Roach wasn't just fighting for a win, he was fighting to prove that he deserved to be in the conversation with boxing's biggest names. Like I told everybody, when you fight a guy on Tank's level, you want to represent your side. You're going to fight up to his level. You might even fight over his level, Ennis stated. Roach did just that. He didn't just match Davis at times, he even outperformed him. This fight forced Roach to push himself beyond his limits, and he proved that he is here to stay.